Am I the asshole? For telling my mill she gave up her family and it's her fault she's alone? My husband and I've been married for 6 years, at least 5 of those have been almost no contact with his mother. I don't know the whole story, but his dad passed away when he was young, and his mom remarried a man who was horribly abusive to him up until he moved out. He tried to tell his mother for years, but she just wouldn't believe it. It got to the point that for his own well-being, he just couldn't be around her anymore. This week, after years of silence, she shows up at our doorstep. She said she'd tried to call, but we have her blocked, so obviously it didn't go through. She was in tears and started crying about how her husband had trashed her house and left her, and she realized her son was telling the truth, how she didn't have anyone, all that shit. She begged to talk to my husband. I said that she had some fucking balls coming to our house to cry after throwing her son to the side for a disgusting predator until that stopped working for her. I said she made her bed, now is the time to lay in it, and it wasn't going to be in my fucking house. She was almost hysterical when she left. Her coming to the door put my husband in a panic attack, he's been too depressed to get out of bed since. I really don't care for that woman, but when I replay it in my head I feel absolutely terrible. Berating someone in tears never feels good, and now I think I might have just made things worse. Should I have done something different? Was that a dick move? Not the asshole she needed to be told didn't care when it was happening to her son, but oh, it's the end of the world when it happened to her. Good for you. Hold your head up high and keep looking after your husband. Not the asshole. My wedding. My MIL bawling and saying she was so sorry she let him stepdad beat my husband. Could you have handled it differently? Sure. But what you did was primal and rightfully protective. Now, ask what your husband needs. I learned that no matter how terrible a parent treats a child, that now grown child still craves the approval from that parent. It was difficult for me to understand. Find out what he needs. That's what matters now. Not the asshole. His mother enabled that behavior towards your husband, and neglected him when she was supposed to protect him. It pains me when I see parents like this who seriously take the word of the person they're seeing over their own children's, without realizing the kind of damage that does. She's only showing up now in hysterics because she's facing the consequences of her failure to listen and act. Not the asshole. You gave her a receipt that was a long time coming. Not the asshole. You're a fucking queen. Gold star. It's easy to be sorry when you need something. Let her sort her shit out, be in a reasonably good place, and then come knocking with nothing but the honest intention to apologize and make her regrets known. Everything else is just the same abusive gaslighting shit that your hubby ran away from. Absolutely not the asshole. Not the asshole. This woman allowed her husband to terribly abuse her child and wouldn't help him. He was forced to leave home and cut off contact with her for his own well-being. Now she's had the nerve to show up at her son's door begging for help. I would have done the same thing. She was given a beautiful child and she chose not to protect him. Now she can suffer the consequences. Not the asshole. I hate it when these MIL who treat their kids like shit for a man then come running when they for them like shit. OP, you are awesome. Glad you stood up to her. Not the asshole. It continues to stagger me how many parents never consider the fact that their kids will grow up, realize how awful they are and want nothing to do with them. Do they think kids just forget about abuse? Not the asshole. You defended your family's interest as you should. Not the asshole. Hubby is very lucky to have you. I never thought leopards would eat my face, sobs woman who voted for the leopards eating people's faces party. What MIL did was disgustingly self-absorbed. If she had a true revelation, there were a variety of ways to reach out to you, even if you did have her blocked. Showing up unannounced, giving you and hubby no time to think or respond in a well-thought-out fashion, is a basic manipulation tactic, designed to put social pressure on you to help get what she wants. As is the loud tears. Don't play her game. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. The reason you feel bad is that you are a decent human being who has empathy. Your outrage is from the years of abuse your husband was subjected to that she turned a blind eye to. Now that her house is trashed and she's alone, she needs her son. Truly remorseful people would have apologized profusely and then left without asking for anything. So, she didn't show up at your house for her son, but for your house and security because now she has nothing. Hope your husband feels better. Not the asshole. Oh man, I bet that felt good in the moment, though. Please update after you talk to your husband. How does he feel about what you said? I think that will help clarify things. Not the asshole. Manipulators think tears work on everyone and are shocked when they don't. I love your shiny spine, you did the right thing, and I'm sure your husband appreciates it. Take care of yourselves and keep the old bat blocked. She deserves nothing. It can be true that your MIL needs help and support. But it can also be true that given their history, your husband can't give her that himself. Not the asshole. This internet stranger is very proud of you. Good job, you have nothing to feel bad about. Not the asshole. My FIL has tried, through a BIL, to whine to us that he's lonely. He's the one who disowned his son for marrying me. My husband has no desire to have that in our lives. Make your bed, you lie in it. Not the asshole. It was all good and dandy until she was the one on the receiving end of it. Gross. You're an awesome wife for standing up for your husband like that. Maybe you could take a day and just lay in bed with him? Ask if he'd like some company and then bring some of his favorite snacks and movies and just spend the day together. I'm sorry your husband had to deal with that. Having his trauma just thrown straight in his face, without warning, has to be the worst feeling on the planet. Not the asshole. You were fiercely protective of your husband, and it sounds like it's about time someone was. Good for you. Not the asshole. She's finding the consequences for her behavior aren't enjoyable. You used the word predator. As someone who had a brother who was, well, mildly is the wrong word, but also a predator, F that guy. And F anyone who allowed an innocent child to be preyed upon. I understand your feelings, I'm super passive, your feelings of remorse will pass, and I'm glad you stood up for your husband. Not the asshole. Ta. You're a fucking legend, not the asshole. Not the asshole. You protected your husband. That's what he needed. I'm so sorry his mother didn't believe him and that he clearly has PTSD from just the sight of her. Keep her far away. I'm hoping your husband is getting therapy to help him work through this and know none of it was his fault. I'd fully support my GF doing just that. They get 18 years to audition to be adult friends with their child. Some people completely blow it. Oh hone, you are not the asshole at all in this situation. That woman chose to not believe her son was being abused by her husband. She actively chose a man over her own son's safety. She has no right to seek out your husband's comfort after years off no contact. Send a certified letter telling her to never step foot on your property nor contact you and your husband, otherwise you'll serve her with a restraining order. Give your husband extra hugs from us. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You responded very harshly, but it sounds like the circumstances demanded it. Anyone who shows up demanding free room and board needs to see some boundaries, the firmer the better. Especially if she still has a house to live in, it just has been trashed. She can pull up her big girl pants, change the locks, and start cleaning the mess. including the mess she made with her son.